So we have the facts of what being an employee versus being an independent contractor means generally. But what about the lies and misinformation that club owners tell us about this difference and the changes in California? Let's break it down one by one, myths and facts style. Myth number 1, if I'm an employee, I'll have to follow the schedule that the club provides me. Well, no. The fact is that you'll have the same flexibility as an independent contractor. You provide your manager your availability, the times you're able to work, and the schedule's based off that, same as before. Employment law does not require you to adhere to a stricter schedule or have less flexibility. Myth number 2, if I'm an employee, can't my manager tell me who I have to dance with when? No, not at all. Employment law doesn't dictate anything about who you dance for and when, and if your club owner or manager is implementing a rule like that, they're behaving really unethically. You have a right to refuse to give a lap dance to anyone that you don't feel comfortable touching. Myth number 3, I'll lose so much of my money to taxes if I'm an employee. Actually, the truth is that self-employment taxes that independent contractors have to pay is double the amount that you pay as an employee usually. Because when you're an employee, you pay half and the place you're working pays the other half, so they're sharing the tax burden rather than you being left with it alone. Myth number 4, being an employee means that the club gets more of my dance money and more of my tips. Actually, as an employee, the club can't take any of your tips at all. It's illegal, and they can't charge you a fee to work. House fees and stage fees are illegal, and we know that clubs all over California are implementing these new changes in really illegal ways. Myth 5, I'll make less money being an employee. Actually, there's no reason you'll make less money being an employee when you take into account that you won't have to pay house fees or stage fees, there won't be mandatory tip out, you're actually guaranteed a minimum base wage every time you go in, meaning no more nights of working for nothing. And you're also sharing your tax burden with the employer, so you'll have less taxes to pay. Under these new laws, you actually could be making more money if the clubs were operating legally and in a fair way. Dancers could even negotiate contracts that define dance fees as tips from customers, meaning you would get to keep all of the money for the dance fee. We know of examples of clubs in California where dancers are making minimum wage and also making more money than they were before the changes. For all of these issues and myths, when you're an employee, you have the right and opportunity to organize with your coworkers to set up the schedule, fee structure, privacy, and other things that you want in your workplace. So if you want to learn more about some of the ways that you could organize with your coworkers to make changes in your club, check out our next video that offers an introduction to unions and even talks about a historic unionized strip club that existed in California.